Go interactive with X-Ray, where we bring trading experts to you live in the platform. Choose sessions, watch live market analysis, and catch up on your favorite market insights anytime. Ask questions and go one-to-one with leading experts on gold, oil, FX, crypto, indices, and equities. X-Ray, your very own analysis team, right at your fingertips. That's higher trading from MarketsX. Discover how some of the top executives are trading their own companies with our Insider Trades tool. See who's been buying or selling stock and what their trades say about insider sentiment. Use this unique big data tool to make more informed stock trades. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Boom, and we're live. What's happening, beautiful people? Good morning, America. Good afternoon, Europe, and welcome everyone to our live stream. How is everyone doing this afternoon? Let me know how you're doing in the comments box below, guys. And if you like what you see, like, share, subscribe, and support us in delivering more great content. Come on, guys, be supportive. Don't be haters. Now, let's get down to business and see what is happening in the markets today, Tuesday, 16th of February, 2021. The U.S. markets are expected to open higher after President's Day holiday, with the Dow Jones up over 200 points in pre-market open. The Arctic freeze wave that took U.S. by surprise continues to create chaos in Texas, leaving many people and businesses without power or heat and forcing shutdowns in the oil fields. Goldman Sachs announced its interest in launching a new trading platform that will help traders build long-short portfolios. Crude oil futures retract just below $60 per barrel after an impressive 2 days rally, despite oil fields shutting down in Texas. The Hong Kong government, guys, proposes to ban retail investors from trading cryptocurrencies. And Bitcoin, the good almighty Bitcoin, flirts with the 50,000 mark for the first time in its history. After an influx of investors' optimism and institutional purchases, U.S. markets open. Coming up. Right, and we're back live, everyone, with the latest news in the crypto stratosphere, guys. The Hong Kong government proposes to ban retail investors from trading cryptocurrencies. Let's see what are the reasons behind this and what's expected to happen next. I found this article on cryptodaily.co.uk, guys, and the article is written by Samantha Dunn, and it was published 2 hours ago. Let's see what is happening. Concerns regarding illicit activities such as money laundering have led to an increased call for the regulation of cryptocurrencies in the hope that balanced regulation will improve the industry. While countries such as UK, Singapore, and the US have taken actions to comply with the recommendations from the Financial Action Task Force, Hong Kong has taken this one step further and introduced a proposal to effectively ban retail trading of cryptocurrencies. Through this proposal, existing anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing policies will be enhanced and broadened to include cryptocurrencies as well. The government plans to turn this proposal into a bill which, if approved, will limit trading in cryptocurrencies to professional investors with a portfolio of at least 8 million Hong Kong dollars. This will affect the majority of Hong Kong's citizens, making cryptocurrency unavailable to around 93% of the city's population, according to South China Morning Post. This proposal has not been well received by advocates of cryptocurrency. If retail investors are effectively banned from trading in Hong Kong, they will be forced to turn to peer-to-peer and unlicensed trading, and may end up increasing crime overall. This move to restrict crypto trading is not in keeping with the moves of other financial jurisdictions have made. The Bitcoin Association of Hong Kong has stated that it believes Bitcoin should remain accessible to all Hong Kong citizens. Now, let's see the quote. "We fear that restricting non-institutional investors from converting their Bitcoin into Hong Kong dollars constitutes capital controls. At a time where ordinary residents and government officials are denied access to basic banking services, we must not further restrict access to tools that reduce dependency on foreign institutions. This was the statement. Global Digital Finance, the body that represents cryptocurrency exchanges such as Coinbase, BitMEX, and Huobi, agrees with the proposal to regulate virtual asset service providers in line with the global efforts from many crypto advocates to get this asset class regulated. However, the GDF believes a more balanced regulation will improve this industry. And now the statement from the GDF. Restricting cryptocurrency trading to professional investors only is different to what we have seen in other jurisdictions such as Singapore, the UK, the US, where retail investors can buy and sell virtual assets, said the chairman of GDF's Advisory Council. The attempts to follow the recommendations from the Financial Action Task Force, guys, and comply with the anti-money laundering comes as part of a wider anti-corruption campaign to crack down on illicit activities and broaden the scope of its pre-existing legislation. Now, so far so good. I salute the initiative of potentially banning cryptocurrencies for retail traders, as long as the reason behind it is not just anti-money laundering policy and it's protecting the average people from a currency that it's already so expensive and that it fluctuates so much and that is so dangerous. If this is one of the reasons behind this this decision from Hong Kong government, I gladly salute the decision and I support it. Now we have more news coming from Bitcoin, guys. Apparently, Bitcoin topped $50,000 today for the first time in its history. And we see this article on investing.com. Bitcoin vaults above $50,000 for the first time ever. Bitcoin rose above $50,000 today to a new record high. Building on a rally fueled by signs that the world's biggest cryptocurrency is gaining acceptance among mainstream investors. Bitcoin hit a new record of $50,602 and was up 5% at $50,300. It has risen around 72% so far this year, with most of the gains coming from electric car maker Tesla. Said it bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. It also said it would accept the currency as payment later on in the year. But Tesla was only the latest in a string of large investments that have vaulted Bitcoin from the fringes of finance to company balance sheets and Wall Street dealing desks, as U.S. firms and traditional money managers have started to purchase a lot of it. Yes, that's correct, guys. Apparently, this year we have an influx of institutional investors that apparently take control of the price and the direction of Bitcoin. That's why retail investors should be protected 100% against this high-risk asset class, which is brilliant, by the way. However, it remains the highest risk asset class among all the 5 asset classes you can find in the financial markets. Now, the third article that got my attention today, guys, is this one. Sell or hold. Long-term Bitcoin investors take profits as miners hold. Let's have a quick look and see what this article is all about. According to data from on-chain analytics provider Glassnode, the Bitcoin miners are holding the digital asset and refusing to sell while long-term investors take profit. Glassnode reports that while January was characterized by heavy selling from miners, the rate of selling has dropped significantly in February. This is very important because this helps you understand the bigger picture and potentially the direction of the crypto asset. Miners and long-term investors are the primary sellers of Bitcoin during bull markets. But since miners are refusing to sell, the only logical conclusion is that long-term investors are responsible for a large percentage of the coins being sold. Declining miner outflows is not a bad thing in this case, Glassnode considers in a bullish sign. The firm wrote, this suggests that miners have either completed adequate sales to cover costs, or could also mean that they see Tesla's vote of confidence as fair reason to keep a strong grip on their treasuries. A look at Bitcoin's average spent output lifespan reveals that the long-term investors jumped on Tesla announcement of 1.5 billion Bitcoin buy to realize profits. But despite the profit taken from long-term investors, Bitcoin has continued to record gains. As of press time, the digital asset was trading at $48,500 after attempting to break $50,000 benchmark several times. So these are the 3 articles that got my attention today, guys. Is Bitcoin a good investment for the retail traders as things stand right now or not? This is entirely up to you to decide. Stay tuned. We're coming back live in 30 seconds with the US markets open.
Keep your finger on the market pulse with the News Alerts tool. Stay up to date on the latest sentiment across all the major asset classes. Uncover bullish or bearish signals tied to specific assets that could be developing before major price moves, and track how news sentiment correlated with price in the past. Track the news volume on an asset, its fear index, and get a better feel for its underlying strength. All with News Alerts, your central hub for market information. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Right, and we're back, beautiful people, with the economic calendar. Yesterday, we had a big holiday in the U.S. We had the U.S. President's Day, and the financial markets were closed. So I'm very curious to see, and I bet you are curious as well, to see where the markets will open today, guys. And by the way, if you have any questions, type your questions. If you have any comments, any suggestions of what we could do to improve this broadcast, please do let us know, and I will do my best to reply to as soon as possible. Now, in the economic calendar today, guys, we still have a continuation of China Spring Festival, and the Asian markets remain closed today. And we also have the Carnival in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro, which is less important for the global financial markets. However, it does matter in the economic calendar. Now, let's see what happened today. We had a few announcements at lunchtime today, guys. We had the German ZW current conditions and the economic sentiment, which came out better than expected for February, guys. 71.2 versus an expectation of 59.6 from consensus. And in the same time, we had the gross domestic product announced in the Eurozone, which again, both came out positive and above consensus expectations. The CEU economic sentiment for the Eurozone in February also came out better than the previous one at 69.6 versus 15.3. Sign that the economy in the Eurozone is giving us a tiny sign of potential recovery. Now, a few minutes ago, guys, we had the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index, which came out double than what economists have predicted. It came out at 12.10 versus a prediction of only 6 from consensus. Also, in the same time, we had the foreign securities purchases on the Canadian dollar, which came out on the positive note, but half than what was announced previously. Now, in a couple of hours from now, we're going to have an FOMC press conference with 2 FOMC members speaking. A bit of volatility will be expected on the US dollar later on. And we're going to have the TIC net long-term transactions for December released just ahead midnight on GMT plus 2. Now, so the economic calendar is quite poor today. Not as poor as yesterday, though. Tomorrow, guys, quick look at the economic calendar. Tomorrow, again, we're going to have the Spring Festival continuation in China, and we're going to have the Ash Wednesday in Brazil. But the economic calendar starts shaping up as we get towards the middle of the week with a series of announcements on the pound. Tomorrow, guys, we're going to have an ECB monetary policy statement early in the morning at 10 o'clock GMT plus 2. Couple of announcements on the South African Rand, followed by quite a few announcements in the afternoon at 3:30 GMT plus 2 on the US dollar and the Canadian dollar. And as the evening continues, guys, we will continue with more announcements on the US dollar, along with the FOMC meeting minutes and the API weekly crude oil stock, which will be announced just ahead of midnight. Now, for the week, guys, we're going to have the crude oil inventories delayed for 1 day. So they will be announced on Thursday due to the presidential day holiday that happened in the U.S. yesterday. Now, let's move on and see what is expected from the markets today, guys. And most importantly, what are the 5 things to know in the markets today? Dow futures up 200 points, roughly. Optimism of future economic growth grows. So we expect the U.S. stock markets pushing higher today, continuing recent gains, aiming growing confidence. The country's ramped-up vaccination program will lead to a prompt economic recovery. At 7:25 a.m. Eastern Time, which was around lunchtime GMT, guys, the Dow futures were up to around 200 points, or 0.6%. The S&P 500 futures traded only 21 points higher, And the Nasdaq 100 futures climbed 68 points or 0.65%. The U.S. stock market was closed yesterday, as I said a minute ago, for President's Day, but February is still on track to the strongest month for the major Wall Street indices since November. The stock markets have benefited from an expectation of additional stimulus from the new administration, with almost $2 trillion, guys, working its way through the Congress, as well as its focus upon delivering vaccinations for the American public as quickly as possible. The U.S. Inoculation campaign has gained considerable momentum since the sluggish start in December, with 59.2 million total vaccines administered so far, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on Sunday. America has far exceeded the countries of continental Europe in terms of percentage of the populations vaccinated, but optimism is growing even across the pond. Now, investors' morale in Germany, Europe's largest economy, rose sharply in February on expectations consumption will take off in the coming months, with the ZEW Economic Research Institute reporting earlier this morning. The U.S. economic data slate is largely empty today, with the February's NY Empire State Manufacturing Index due, but tomorrow we will see a large data dump, including January retail sales, producer price index, industrial and manufacturing production numbers. This is exactly what I was telling you a minute ago. The key release, however, is likely to be the meeting minutes from the last meeting of the Federal Reserve that happened a couple of days ago, with investors keen for clues as to when the central bank will consider starting pulling back its accommodative policy stance. In corporate news, guys, because we still have the earnings season going, even though it melted quite heavily in the recent days, we still have quite a few big companies that will report, guys. So for the stock traders, the earnings season has been generally positive, but is coming to close. That said, Cvs Health, AIG, and Palantir are among the names reporting today. Right, oil prices also pushed higher in the U.S. Today, as the severe cold spell in large parts of America resulted in heavy demand for power, as well as disrupting supplies in Texas, the biggest crude producing state. The deep freeze halted Texas oil wells and refineries on Monday and forced restrictions on natural gas and crude pipeline operators, resulting in blackouts throughout the state. U.S. crude futures traded 0.5% higher, while the international benchmark Brent contract fell 0.3% to 63.09. Both contracts having traded earlier, not far removed from their highest level since January last year. Gold futures also fell 0.4% to $1,816, while the euro-US dollar traded 0.3% higher at 121.67. Right. This is what is happening in the market so far today, guys. Let's take a 30-second break, and then we're coming back live with the charts of the day and the signals of the day. We are about 10 minutes ahead of the U.S. markets open. Stay tuned. We're coming back live in just a minute.
Discover how some of the top executives are trading their own companies with our Insider Trades tool. See who's been buying or selling stock and what their trades say about insider sentiment. Use this unique big data tool to make more informed stock trades. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Right, and we're back, guys. We cannot go on to the charts of the day unless I'm telling you I'm giving you some news about stocks, guys. For my stock traders, you know I love you. Now let's have a quick look and see what stocks are the hottest stocks today, guys. Palantir Technologies stock fell 10% after the data analytics company posted a surprise fourth quarter loss, even after a 40% rise in sales in its second quarterly results since going public last year. The company's post-IPO look-up period, when insiders are forbidden to sell their holdings, expires on Friday. So keep an eye on this one, guys. We might see some very interesting sell-off happening on Friday. Right, now let's have a quick look. Cvs Health, guys. Cvs Health stock rose 1.6% after its fourth quarter earnings beat expectations, with its pharmacy sales helped by COVID-19 testing and vaccines. Citigroup stock rose 1.7%, Wells Fargo rose 1.5%, and Bank of America stock climbed 1.6%, with these banks benefiting from the yields on a 10-year U.S. Treasuries, touching their highest levels since late March. ExxonMobil stock rose 2.7%, Marathon Oil stock rose 4%, and Chevron also rose 0.4% after oil prices jumped to a 13-month high in the windy conditions in large parts of the U.S. Southwest Airlines rose 2% as well after the airline said it expects an improvement in passenger demand from February to March, although it still continues to experience a significant year-over-year impact on passenger demand due to the pandemic. BHP Billiton ADR rose 7.2% after the mining giant reported its best first half profit in 7 years and declared a record interim dividend, helped by strong China demand for iron ore. Glencore, guys, also rose 8% after the commodity trading and mining giant reinstated its dividend on the back of record trading profits. And Marriott International, guys, stock rose 0.1% after the hotel chain announced Chief Executive Officer Arne Sorensen, who was undergoing cancer treatment, had unexpectedly passed away. Right. Right now, let's have a quick look at the charts of the day, guys, and see what's going on. I do apologize. I got distracted for a second by the bad news on Marriott. Okay, rest in peace and all the best to the family. Now, moving on to the charts of the day, guys, we're looking at crude oil WTI on a 60-minute chart, which was giving back some gains during the European trading session today. And now it's topping again the $60 mark, trading at $60.02, just 10 minutes ahead of the U.S. markets open. Looking at the bottom of the chart, guys, we can see the RSI and the stochastic pointing upwards, giving us a bit of hope that crude oil futures will very likely push even higher, probably towards the $61 mark soon after the U.S. markets open today. On the other hand, we see the euro making an aggressive correction 10 minutes ahead of the U.S. Markets open, guys. A retest of that 200 moving average to the downside, pushing the European currency to 121.05. Okay, let's see what's going to happen from here. We see the RSI turning around at the very bottom of the chart, but the stochastic still remains open to the downside. 10 minutes ahead of the 8 minutes ahead, sorry, of the US markets open, guys. Very, very curious to see what's going to happen, how the markets will open. Probably we're going to see quite a bit of a gap on the S&P and the Dow Jones at the opening today. Now, moving on to the cable, guys, GBP USD on a 60-minute chart, 138.87. After the pound, just as the euro gave back a bit of gains shortly prior to the U.S. markets open today. I'm getting caught in my own words, guys, but it's okay. It's only Tuesday. So once again, we see the RSI turning around at the bottom. Stochastic still remains open. We might see a bit of a push further to that 200 MA to the downside at 138.16. Let's see what the US market will bring us today. The USD JPY pair, guys, is advancing in the last 3 hours, trading as high as 105.73 as things stand right now, with the RSI reaching the overbought levels. Okay, but the dollar seems to be making a correction of 100%. Okay, from the sell-off that started on the 8th of February. Moving on, we're looking at the Aussie dollar, guys, which just like the European currencies, the euro and the pound started correcting in the last couple of hours. 0.7553 this afternoon. We might see a retest of that 200 MA to the downside of 0.7732. RSI stochastic still pointing downwards. We might see a correction, a bigger correction happening later on today. But wait for the U.S. markets open, guys. USD CAD, on the other hand, got fed up of falling overnight and during the European trading session, and it showed us a bit of a spike in the last hour or so, going as high as 126.80 as things stand right now. Let's see what's going to happen. We see a red candlestick opening a few minutes ahead of the U.S. Open. RSI stochastic turning around from the overbought levels. We might see a bit of selling power on the USD CAD this afternoon. Right, US 500, the S&P 500, which is not open yet, guys. Another 5 minutes until the markets will open. They closed on the positive on Friday. So did the Dow Jones. Let's see. The markets are supposed to open towards the upside today with quite a gap, I'd say. Right, the US dollar index, guys, 90.54 for the US dollar index. Again, after tumbling for the last couple of trading sessions, we now see a retest to the upside of that 200 moving average. If the US dollar index will settle above that or not, only time will tell in less than 5 minutes. Meanwhile, we see gold futures tanking this afternoon, guys, going below the 1,800 mark. 1,791.65 this afternoon for gold futures on a 60-minute chart with the RSI stochastic way into the oversold levels. There we go. We can see at the bottom of the chart, guys, the RSI is almost off the charts with this oversold level. Let's see if there's any sign of recovery. Brent oil futures, guys, are also retracting, trading at $63.09, a few minutes ahead of the US Open. We see a double top there on a 60-minute chart. Let's see what's going to happen. Either the markets will go for a retest probably of that 200 MA, but considering the situation, guys, there's more probability for the upside than for the downside. We're going to have a look at some trading signals in a minute provided by investing.com and see what analysts from investing.com think will happen with crude oil, WTI, and Brent oil futures this afternoon. Silver futures tanked as well minutes ago, just like gold futures, trading as low as 27,100 as we speak. Again, with the RSI and the stochastic way into the oversold levels. That might be a good thing overall after such a pullback, guys. And if the markets are testing a resistance level, this might be a good entry for a long position on silver. Why not targeting potentially that previous high around the 30 flat? Okay, we're just below 30 flat. Let's see. Now, the good almighty Bitcoin, guys, everyone's favorite, is currently trading at $49,134 on the Bitfinex exchange. We see the candlesticks consolidating at above that 20 moving average, which usually implies quite a bit of buying power. Okay, so don't be surprised if you're going to see Bitcoin breaking the $50,000 mark today and heading towards 55, why not 60? Don't try and understand the cryptocurrencies and the rally of Bitcoin, guys, because the rally of Bitcoin has nothing to do with logic. Let's move on. Look at Ethereum. $1,779, almost 1,800 flat for Ethereum. And check this out, guys. Ethereum is trading higher than gold futures this afternoon. Okay, 1780.15 with the RSI and the stochastic somewhere, the RSI in between. Not very convinced of the uptrend or the downtrend, and we see stochastic still pointing downwards. Okay, but the good news is that the Ethereum price, if technical analysis makes any sense in this case, is well supported by that 200 moving average that you see at the bottom. Now, let's have a quick look at some technical analysis, some Forex signals, guys. We are exactly 2-3 minutes ahead of the US markets open. Okay, we're looking at Euro US dollar and GBP USD, guys, with strong sell indications ahead of the US markets open on 3 of the 4 time frames. We're looking at USD JPY and USD CHF with strong buy indications. AUD USD, again, has a strong sell indication as things stand right now. The euro versus the pound, all red, guys, 4 red, 4 strong sell indications for the euro versus the British pound. And the USD CAD shows us a 3 strong buy, 3 green. Now, long story short, guys, the dollar that has been tumbling for the last couple of trading sessions is supposed to strengthen a bit today. I don't know if it's going to continue the downtrend or not. Most probably it will. But expect a bit of a correction today on the US dollar after tumbling for the last couple of days and not being able to defend itself. Let's see what will happen after the US markets open. Now, what's worth mentioning, guys, the pound is strengthening versus its other peers. We're looking at GBP JPY and GBP CHF, guys, both with strong buy indications on both on all 4 time frames. Okay, including the daily one. So it might be a very good currency pair to have a look at. Okay, if you decide to go long on the pound, guys, on the pound, have a look at the GBP JPY, have a look at the GBP CHF. Okay, and it might make a bit more sense. Now, let's have a quick look at commodities, guys, and see how investing.com sees commodities this afternoon. Gold, silver, and copper, guys, All three indicate strong sell positions from investing.com. Crude oil WTI is stuck in strong buy, making a lot of sense, yeah, because some refineries in Texas were shut down yesterday, probably today too. A lot of people in the States are dealing with an Arctic wave. Okay, that's pushing them purchasing more heating material. Yeah, so crude oil WTI makes sense if it rallies as well. Brent oil in the same time is a bit undecided. Okay, so don't put all your money in one basket, guys. Natural gas is showing us 4 strong buy indications, and US wheat just turned into a strong buy as well. 1 minute into the US trading session. The US markets are now open, guys. Yay, there we go. Happy Tuesday, everyone. So natural gas, strong buy positions. Brent oil, strong sell. And crude oil WTI, strong buy at the US markets open. Let's have a quick look at the S&P 500, guys, and see what happened at the opening. And there we go. We see the S&P 500 opening higher and creating a bit of a gap at the open today. There we go. I'm going to make it full screen for you to have a look. There we go, guys. Look at the top of the chart. That tiny mark over there. 39.46.80 for the S&P 500 at the opening today. Dow Jones, guys, also open to the upside. You can see the latest candlestick. It's green. 31.579.13 for the Dow Jones Industrial Average this afternoon. Now, let's have a quick look at some stocks, guys. Let's see how Tesla opened. The Tesla that made the Bitcoin reach almost $50,000 with its purchases is currently trading to the upside at $820 flat 1 minute into the US trading session. We're looking at the RSI, not looking very convinced, and apparently taking a breather around the 50% mark. Now, guys, pay attention to the RSI. If the RSI will turn around and point downwards from here, then expect a bit of a pullback from Tesla. Also, very important. Have a quick look at that dead cross that is to be formed between the yellow line and the red line, the 50 and the 200 moving average. Usually when a dead cross is formed, guys, that implies tremendous selling power. And there we go. We see a red candlestick as things stand right now, $816.96 a few minutes after the opening on Tesla. Facebook, on the other hand, is opening to the upside, $271.55 for Facebook, and Facebook has been ranging for some time now. Let's hope for a breakout. The good news is that the price is well supported by the 200 MA, by all 3 moving averages, and the RSI and the stochastic are both pointing upwards, with the RSI, guys, above the 50% mark. Okay, above the 50% mark. Not the same can be said about Tesla. Yeah, about Tesla and the RSI. The RSI is below the 50% mark. Okay, so stock traders, pay attention at technical indicators. Sometimes they help. Alibaba opened to the upside, guys. A small gap for Alibaba at the opening today, $272.67. And by the looks of it, Alibaba is on the rebound. And the traders will now probably target the $300 mark or somewhere in that region. Apple, let's have a look at Apple and see what happens with Apple. $135.62 for Apple. Positive opening, however, not really impressed by how the RSI looks like on a 60-minute chart, guys. It's somewhere in between. So we don't know yet if it's an upside or a downside for Apple. What else do we have? Nvidia and Amazon, guys. Nvidia open to the upside as well. $603 flat for Nvidia. You can see the RSI above the 50% mark, implying a bit of buying power, and the stochastic is pointing upwards as well. And Amazon, guys, Amazon $3,274.50 for Amazon. Somewhere in between the 50 and the 200 MA. A lot of pressure on Amazon as things stand right now. I'm not very, very confident to try and give you any direction for Amazon. Now, this is it, guys. This is what's happening with the markets today. This is it from my side. Okay. Remember to trade responsibly and may all your trades be in the money. And don't forget to click that subscribe button at the bottom, guys. Take care. See you tomorrow, same time, same place, for a new round of market talks.